It's okay. Off your mind, it's okay. Off your mind,
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, my ego don't come. Ingo torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, my ego don't come, my people make we shout, my ego don't come, my ego don't come, man of the masses, my ego don't come, this one not the off in mind. And in the touchlight every corner. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you ladder. My ego don't come. My people make we shout. My ego don't come. My ego don't come, man of the masses. My ego don't come. Politico, this one not the off in mind. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that my yegun, that man too they talk. He do they talk. Say my yegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk, but thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you laugh, my ego don't come, my people make you shout, my ego don't come, my ego don't come, man of the masses.
Hello there.
My name is Nnamdi Kanu, and the reason why we're here today is to protest the killing of innocent women and children, and men for that matter, all over Nigeria, especially in the northern part of Nigeria. We are not happy, we are not pleased with what is happening, and that is why we're here today. As you can see, there are a lot of Nigerians who are protesting about the killing of families, people who are determined to tear the country apart violently, and it is not something that we support. It is not something that we would like to see continue, and we are here today to send a clear message to the Nigerian government through the High Commissioner that what is happening in the country is unacceptable and we cannot accept it. If that continues, it will lead to the violent disintegration of the country. There will be no more Nigeria for anyone to go to. There will be no Nigeria for anyone to refer to. In fact, what is happening in Somalia today will be like a tea party. So we cannot allow this nonsense to continue. Something has to be done, and the consequences of the actions of terrorism in Nigeria must be driven home to the people, so that even the terrorists themselves will be able to understand that there is no mileage in where they're going. The only thing they can accomplish is the breakup of Nigeria. If they think that they can cower people, if they think they can force people to be coerced into a religion which is not theirs, then they are clearly mistaken. We are asking for peace. We are asking for people to get together. We are asking for everybody who loves Nigeria, who is associated with that country, to please prevail upon terrorism in Nigeria so we can bring it to an end. That is why a multitude of Nigerians are gathered here today. Those of us in the UK are determined to work with the government for peace. We are determined to work with the international community for peace. The one thing we cannot stomach is a repeat of 1966. What is happening today in Nigeria was the reason why Nigeria fought a bitter civil war for 3 years between 1967 and 1970. If this continues, there will be another civil war in Nigeria. And this time around, no place will be safe in Nigeria. This time around, nobody will be safe in Nigeria. So it is imperative that everybody who has the interest of the country at heart acts now and immediately to stop.
Thank you so much for joining me. Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun live. Please share the broadcast.
Mayegun diary politico. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun diary.
Thank you so much. Remember, read the caption of the broadcast. Read the description as well. Share it as wide as you can. Just before we get started, this is exclusive, as they will say. So, which means that it is going to be a full hour of at least bringing everybody up to date on the Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's travail in the hands of the ruiners and destroyers of Nigeria. Share it.
Facebook, and yes, Lórí YouTube, and yes, Bàbá gbé wúrẹ́, and yes, Níjó ìgbádìyẹ, and yes,
Tomorrow, it's going to be 899 days that they have been keeping Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Yet, they have been unable to present one viable evidence of why they are keeping him. They kidnapped him 899 days ago. The news broke. It was a celebratory mood for these criminals and the jihadists, especially the jihadists from northern Nigeria. 899 days. They couldn't even manufacture evidence. Share the broadcast.
Ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí pa. Ayé ìṣúra aṣòfin tí ń rúfin òwò. Ayé ìṣúra òwúrọ̀ olóṣèlú.
There are other stories that we are going to be discussing later tonight as well, but this is going to be like a catch-up. The story so far. Share it. Motide. So, good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. It is Mayegun, and this is live. 10 years ago, or should we say about 11 years ago now, the man that APC, Egbekegbe, Buhari and his jihadist gang wanted to use in perpetuating, as in use as an excuse, in perpetuating their intended genocide in eastern part of Nigeria, genocide against the Igbos. Remember when they did that in 1967 to 1970, it was concluded that it was a no winner, no vanquish. Therefore, all the genocidists of that time got compensated, rewarded, while they continued a Cold War that has further helped polarized, divided Nigeria and Nigerians today. 8 years ago, Buhari and gang decided to use Nnamdi Kanu's request and demand for referendum where the Igbos will be given an opportunity to decide if they still want to be part of Nigeria or not. And if they want to, under what condition? A democratic demand that if not because you add criminals, jihadists, divisionists in charge of Nigeria who are never interested in any unity, as much as we have now seen, they unleashed the state resources on him, as well as on eastern part of Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are hearing about terrorism and terrorism, at least what will come to mind won't be where? The northern Nigeria, the Sharia North. However, it will surprise you that today in Nigeria, the most militarized part of Nigeria today is eastern part of Nigeria. Ask those who do travel down there what it is like for them and the illegal, endless roadblocks put up by different Nigerian government and security agents. Checking what? This was the creation of Buhari. And like I said, Nnamdi Kanu was a perfect, a perfect excuse to what? To go after the Igbos. He was demanding for referendum. No, he was demanding for war. They changed that. And there are Igbos who agrees with them that indeed, that's not a bad excuse, right? To kill supposed Nigerians who are of Igbo extraction by using Nnamdi Kanu's demand. They didn't see it. A lot of them didn't see it. Today, they have also, they have enabled Buhari and his gang to further cripple the economy of eastern Nigeria without any concrete outcome from all those years of a program of killings. So let's go back to 2015. It was peacefully asking for a referendum, knowing the kind of criminals that they are dealing with, the danger upon not just the eastern Nigeria, but the entire southern part of Nigeria. They had problems with his use of language, his use of words. Oh, his words are so like, cutthroat. His words are so blunt. His words are so harsh. So they leveraged on that. He was kidnapped in December 2015. And it was probably an opportunity for those behind that. In fact, those who enabled Buhari to do that, to see if all the noise was for personal aggrandizement or personal enrichment or an attention to get called to come and share in their national cake. So he was locked up while they started the state-sponsored killings, kidnappings, which they call arrest, disappearances in eastern Nigeria. In 2017, for 2 years, they couldn't present any evidence in their own court. Then somehow, those behind the whole ordeal, primarily the Igbo politicians, and I'm going to show you some of them, because Buhari didn't act alone. All the killings that took place in eastern Nigeria, the ones that the criminal politicians themselves put together as unknown gunmen, harmed them, funded them, and protected them, right? Buhari did not commit this genocide alone. By the way, it was enabled by the Igbo politicians led by Devulu Umahi. They promised Devulu Umahi, who was a governor at the time. As a governor, he knew the security problems of his own state, Ebonyi. And in fact, since the eastern part of Nigeria shared the same proximity, so close enough to know what is going on elsewhere. Even in Anambra, they had to force Obino, they had to force him to appoint one of the Yetiala as commissioner, as an advisor, so as to at least curtail the insecurity at the time. So Nnamdi Kanu was screaming about that, but for political exigencies at the time, Igbo presidency, Nnamdi Kanu's position was not good for them. Maybe you didn't know that. Maybe you now know that. Obviously, the damage has been done, hasn't it? Yeah? Devuluma, who knows about all of this and how the Fulani terrorists were ransacking border villages in eastern part of, especially his own state. At a point, he actually cried when he visited some part of his state where hundreds of people have been slaughtered by the Fulani terrorists. He cried. But he was promised the presidency. They were hyping him. Do you understand? Oh, Buhari will support Igbo president. So if Nnamdi Kanu continue to demand for this referendum, if he continues to encourage the young people not to participate in the election or anything, and continue to look down and rubbish all these criminal politicians themselves, then Nnamdi Kanu is a threat to Igbo presidency. Maybe some of you didn't know that. This was the genesis of how IPOB became a threat that even those who are not from Igbo land bought all of the propaganda and the brainwashing. Listen to me. If I give you this context, this was what IPOB practically means. When you see who are those who are the IPOB, indigenous people of Biafra in Nigeria, what do they look like? How do they look like? I mean, what is their gathering like? This is what they are like.
Oh, ye do IPOB. Oh, Mary, Abakare, Mama Daora, Ulapuri Mary Nnamdi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two, now Python that's a three. Ulapuri Mary Nnamdi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two, now Python that's a three. Ulapuri Mary Nnamdi go onye do IPOB. O Mary Nizu Mbiroya Abakare Mama Daora Unapuri Mary Nnamdi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two, now Python that's a three. Unapuri Mary Nnamdi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two, now Python that's a three. Unapuri Mary Nnamdi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two, now Python that's a three. Unapuri Mary Nnamdi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two, now Python that's a three. Unapuri Mary Nnamdi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two, now Python that's a three. Unapuri Mary Nnamdi.
That was their regular gathering in eastern part of Nigeria. Nnamdi Kanu controls sizable number of the population of Igbos, both in Igbo land and outside Igbo land, including in diaspora. He had that truthful hold on them. They saw something in him. They believed him. Nnamdi Kanu wasn't a threat to Nigeria. Nnamdi Kanu, IPOB, they were threats to the Igbo politicians, Igbo elites. It is like one single man, without spending a dime, could control such grassroots movements, and he is not interested in politics. So what did they say? They said, if Nnamdi Kanu was not stopped, he could raise an army that could get rid of all these criminal politicians in eastern Nigeria, and that would be a complete no-no. They couldn't fight him. So they started bombarding Buhari, somebody who was looking for any opportunity anyway. Abi? So they started bombarding him. He must do something. You have to do something. So it became obvious that Buhari was like, okay, your mouth does not control your people, except that Nnamdi Kanu, yeah? Okay, I'll deal with that. That was the genesis. So the genesis of why they kept kidnapping him, but yet couldn't produce one evidence of any wrongdoing other than he insulted us, he insulted our tribe, he insulted our pastor, he insulted our region, he insulted this or that. So in 2017, the same Igbo politicians came together. For some reasons, there were backlashes. So the people that should have probably embraced or listened to them more, even kind of somehow hated them more. They lost control. But if they have to use force, fear, threats to keep the people in control, they don't mind. And that was something Buhari could provide easily. But somehow they were having backlashes from that. Despite all this illegal kidnapping and then incarceration of Nnamdi Kanu, courts kept saying that he must be freed, he must be released. And they kept disobeying the courts. So the politicians came together in 2017, struck a deal, decided to stand shorty, and they made this back-end behind-the-scene arrangement. Nnamdi Kanu will no longer speak on social media. Nnamdi Kanu will no longer grant press release. He will no longer speak to the press. Nnamdi Kanu will no longer be seen in the gathering of more than 5 people, which means Nnamdi Kanu can no longer walk around with that massive following and acceptance. Some of them were so surprised. Ask an ordinary Igbo person today, they will tell you, we are a stubborn flock. We are like people who are very, very independent-minded. But for all of us to listen to this guy, that is what this ruling class and elite are missing because of their own selfish and self-centeredness. Why are all the people, rich, poor, educated, exposed, illiterate and the rest of, why are they all listening to him? What makes him so like that? They are failures. That's it. The failure of the ruling class, not just in Eastern Nigeria, from all over Nigeria, but for the Igbos, their failures makes Nnamdi Kanu a sought after person. It's not hard. So money can't control the people. Force, power can't control the people. Because sooner or later, they're going to break loose from all those things. Power from them is willingly given. And trust me, the Igbo politicians know this very well. So they struck a deal. How could you say Nnamdi Kanu cannot speak on social media? Are you serious? How do you mean that he can't speak to the press and all that stuff? So when they released him on bail, from the moment he was released, he started breaking their nonsense agreement with Buhari. I mean, all of you were you are witnesses, aren't you? He started breaking everything. You can't you cannot enslave a man without his own consent. Do you know that? Today's slavery is purely psychological. A lot of you today have been enslaved psychologically, and in that psychology is hidden fear, the fear of unknown. What's going to happen to me if I try to go against that? Oh my God. Would I be able to withstand what will happen? No, that thing. He started breaking their law. I mean, their agreement, not their law, their agreement. Then they've had enough. So they called a meeting in Enugu. And at that meeting, they expected Nnamdi Kanu to possibly say, okay, what do you have to offer me? I can go away. The naysayers, the useless social media pundits, is looking for money. It's because they are donating money to him. It's because he's making money, millions of this or that. I mean, he's controlling a kind of, you can say this, so I don't care how you feel. You can say Nnamdi Kanu controls a bottomlessly rich empire, being the leader of the IPOB. I mean, they have their members scattered across over 156 countries. And they are present in every state, village in today's Nigeria. Do you understand that? What that means? Because it's here. It's not by those flags that you see. You know, they are kind of dedication and loyalty. So which kind of literally makes him rich. Well, the guy still lives in his flat in London. His family still lives their regular lives. He's still pretty much like your regular person, which simply means he was not all about how much money he can make for himself, which he could easily, I mean, these people will easily give him their money, easily, willingly, right? They want their money to him. So the criminal politicians in Nigeria expected that, probably disappointed. They came out of a meeting in Enugu where Nnamdi Kanu was talking about, listen, we have suffered enough and we should all stop pretending. And with the way this whole place is going, if all of you don't begin to actually do something, like we have the highest youth migration in Nigeria, and these are the vibrant, productive young people that could be so useful in Eastern Nigeria if all of you had invested in Eastern Nigeria. Invest in invest in healthcare, invest in education, invest in infrastructure, build a seaport for our people. Yeah, you know, all those things that are like normal demands. And then the Eastern Nigeria needs an autonomy. And we need a political will to push that. All of them be politicians. The Eastern Nigeria needs security, autonomy. All of this insecurity and the report that all of you have on your desk, that you seem so powerless. You have power. You can do this, do that. We need to protect our people. Our people are vulnerable. When they came out of that meeting, this was what Devulu Mayi said with Nnamdi Kanu, 2017. I think, was it a week or 2 weeks after that? They sent the military to his house to kill him once and for all. Just end this whole thing once and for all. Then he escaped. This guy wasn't a threat to Nigeria. He is not a threat to Nigeria or to anybody in Nigeria. He is a threat to the Igbo politicians and elites, okay, who are indeed against, genuinely against the economic liberation of the people of Eastern Nigeria. And they are not different from their counterparts in other parts of Nigeria, but we'll come to that. He never threatened anybody. He made a demand that these people would rather kill him for. Watch this.
Please don't block. You should come down.
Your Excellency, our very dear host, the Governor of Enugu State, Right Honorable Buhari, Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Anambra State, representing the Governor of Anambra State, our brother Dr. Ken, the other two governors outside the country on emergencies, our very dear brother and the leader of IPOB, Prince Nnamdi Kanu, our father, one of our fathers in Igbo land, Professor Ben Nwabeze, SAN, our brother again, Evangelist Elliot Boko, and the press. This is a communique resulting from our meeting today with the leader of IPOB. So, communique of the Southeast Governors Forum issued today, 30th of August 2017 in Enugu. The Southeast Governors today, the 30th of August 2017, met with the leader of IPOB, Prince Nnamdi Kanu, together with Professor Ben Nwabeze, SAN, and Evangelist Elliot Boko. The meeting deliberated on a number of demands of IPOB and noted their concerns accordingly. However, the meeting agreed that these demands by IPOB should not be absolute. Rather, the Southeast governors shall immediately engage the leader of IPOB, Prince Nnamdi Kanu, and the entire leadership of IPOB to further meetings and dialogue with a view to quickening the resolutions of all issues amicably. And we also request from all concerns to give the Southeast governors.
They said they were going to take all of those communique and all of that stuff to Buhari. Then, a month or so later, they sent the military to kill him. That day, officially, it was recorded that they killed 28 young people at Afarauku in Abia that day. Well, miraculously, he escaped and disappeared. So a lot of people were worried. Was he killed? Did they take his body away? Then 2 years later, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu resurfaced in Israel. Alive. Oh, the fact that he's alive was such a big relief to so many people, millions of people all over the world. Okay, that's a good start then. That means, he's alive. When Nnamdi Kanu came back, I as a person who has been following him and his activities at least for the past 10 years, Mayegun, I saw that change. It was no longer vitriolic. It was more like inclusive. It was meeting either online or physically. It was meeting with other people, other groups from other part of Nigeria, explaining to them that you see what we are pushing for. Everyone should be pushing for it. Right now, Nigeria is not even in the hands of the alleged Nigerians. It's in the hands of smaller, minute number of people, groups, criminals who don't give a damn if we all die. He became a changed person. in a different way. Nnamdi Kanu he set up a Radio Biafra Hausa. He started addressing the Hausa communities. He started speaking directly to them. And before you know it, he started having his own fans in northern Nigeria who started understanding him. Then we woke up in 2021. And it was the news of his arrest. How? Arrest where? What happened? How could that even happen? He was arrested in Kenya. No. Based on what? If he was arrested in Kenya, he can't possibly be in Nigeria. Kenya is not a jungle. They probably has a government. And if somebody is a foreign national and accused of any crime that they have to arrest or whatever, then their own system must keep record of that, including their policemen and their courts. There must be documentation of his arrest and all of that before he ended up in Nigeria. No, he wasn't arrested. He was kidnapped. They were hunting for him. Apart from the propaganda they were funding and spending in Nigeria, and also the ongoing killing and hunting of the young Igbos in eastern part of Nigeria, in the name of IPOB. A lot of them were disappearing in those 2 years. No joke. You offered Kenya what? That they had to do a secret operation? What evidence did you give to them? So we later heard that Malamu in Nigeria told Kenya and other African countries who were ready to play balls, we'll give you something if you can get us Nnamdi Kanu. We heard that it does come around. And who told them that Nnamdi Kanu does go to Africa? Ladies and gentlemen, it is Asari Dokubo. Well, he confessed to it. That is why, in case if you don't remember, Asari Dokubo confessed to that. In fact, Nnamdi Kanu once also mentioned how he met, not himself, but his delegation met with Asari Dokubo in Benin Republic, which their conversation led to, because that was when Asari appeared to be a Biafra on social media. For some of you who remember those years, okay? He was then presenting himself as Biafra, right? He met with Nnamdi Kanu's delegation in Benin Republic, which facilitated the payment of certain amount of millions of naira to Asari Dokubo. So, definitely, somebody told them he does go to Africa. And therefore, they began to spread their dragnet and offering countries a lot of things that, again, will remain as speculation. So we don't know what they offered Kenya, but there is no record of Nnamdi Kanu's arrest in Kenya. He was kidnapped. When he was kidnapped, they said he was in Kenya. That was what Malamu told them. It was, if they see him, Nnamdi Kanu was in Kenya to meet with El Shabaab. El Shabaab is like Boko Haram of the East Africa, of that part of Kenya. The way Nigeria, Niger Republic, Chad, Cameroon, and all these places are suffering the atrocities or terrorism of Boko Haram and other Harams like that. In Kenya, El Shabaab is their own dreaded terror group. Malamu told them that Nnamdi Kanu was in Kenya to meet El Shabaab to plan a terrorist attack in Kenya and Nigeria. So the Kenya Secret Police, who already has a record that Nnamdi Kanu was in Kenya, within a week of Nnamdi Kanu's stay in Kenya, he even visited their hospital to get himself checked. There was a record of that, which means it was publicly available. He wasn't meeting anybody secretly. Then they said a friend who also came to Kenya was to be picked up at the airport. Nnamdi Kanu still drove with people who wanted to go and pick his friend up at the airport. That was where the Kenya Secret Police swooped on them. And immediately they identified him, Nnamdi Kanu. They grabbed him. Remember, he is a terror accomplice, according to Malamu in Nigeria. So Kenya police kept Nnamdi Kanu for 1 week. They chained him to the floor. They were torturing him just to tell them what his connection is with El Shabaab. After 2-3 days, they realized that this guy has no connection with any terror, whatever. It was a complete fake intelligence. Just the same way they are sharing fake intelligence in Nigeria, bombing innocent people, and coming back to call it a mistake. But according to them, like I said, we don't know what they promised Kenya government under Uhuru Kenyatta. Uhuru Kenyatta's government agreed with the Nigerian government, where they now facilitated the private jets. They said, we can't let you go. They said, well, now that you don't have anything on me, can you please let me go? They said, the policeman, that's what he told his lawyer, Nnamdi Kanu himself. He said, one of these guys said, sorry, we can't let you go. We just have to keep you until Nigeria will come and collect you, because we have no case again. We have nothing to hold you for. And they organized a private jet from Nigeria that flew to Kenya, picked Nnamdi Kanu, where they put they put a black hood on his head, right? They covered his head. They tied his hand, tied his leg, then they drugged him and dumped him in that private jet straight to Abuja. Immediately they landed in Abuja. Malamu was so happy. He was so happy that he had to give a press conference in Hausa because Nnamdi Kanu is like a trophy. There are those jihadists up north who they have told that the Igbos hate them so much, and Nnamdi Kanu is the trophy that will punish the Igbos, that the Hausas, Fulanis, they are not their mates. Attorney General of Nigeria gave a press release arresting the leader of the indigenous people of a region, the second, one of the biggest and the largest ethnic groups in Nigeria, and he gave the press conference in Hausa. This might be annoying. I just want it to be on record, ladies and gentlemen.
Domin ganin cewa sun ba da gudunmuwa an kamo shi domin ci gaba da saurari ya huskanci zargin da ake masa kamar da aka mata a sama. Ina mai sanar da ku cewa bayan ainihin ya tsallake beli ya ci gaba da ɗaukar matakai na ainihin tunzura al'umma domin su wa ƙasa zagon ƙasa ta hanyar amfani da kafofi na yada labarai da suka hada da talabijin, rediyo da kuma amfani da yana gizo akan wannan domin ganin cewa ainihin an tada zaune tsaye a Najeriya. Kamar da kuka sani, bayan ya tsallake wannan beli har ila yau ya ɗauki matakai na ainihin harzuka al'umma, musamman a ɓangare kudu maso gabashin Najeriya, wanda a sanadiyar haka an samu hasarar rayuka, dukiyoyi, rayukan al'umma farar hula, rayukan al'umma da suka hada da sojoji da abubuwan da ke da ayyuka da ke da nasaba da aikin kaki, haɗi da hasarar rayukan ainihin jami'an tsaro da kuma ainihin hallaka dukiyoyi da kuma ainihin wuraren ayyuka na waɗannan jami'an tsaro da kuma duk wani abu da ke da nasaba da ainihin tabbatar da wanzuwar hukuma a wannan ƙasa tamu Najeriya. Akan wannan muke sanar da mu sanar da ku a wannan yini cewa gwamnatin Najeriya tare da haɗin kan hukumomi na tsaro sun ci nasarar ainihin samun Kanu, kuma a sanadiyar haka an ci nasarar dawowa da shi gida Najeriya a sanadiyar.
It's a long clip, so there's no point in listening to all that nonsense. But for the record, that was the Attorney General of Nigeria giving his press conference in Hausa, because he had an audience he was actually like addressing. But with all of that, there were no evidence, right? Let me take you a bit back. Nnamdi Kanu made that request, and they ended up having to start hunting him, to kill him, or just they just don't want him out there. Remember, it was a devil Umai that read the communique, who knew the demands. So they promised to make him president. All right? And since Nnamdi Kanu has gone missing, and they were preparing, at least for what will you call it, 2023, the same devil Umai publicly said, what are the demands of IPOB? We don't know their demands. Remember this.
So it's time for us to rise up. We know these people. They're in houses. They're in the forest. Give us information. SSG and the security consultant, they have to provide a secured number where we advertise for people to give information. You can block your number and give information there. And every information we need to arrest of any killer, we have a reward, cash reward, and secret reward of not less than 2 million. Nobody is going to review your identity. Just tell us where these killers are that have refused to accept this amnesty. I'm told the other day, the lawyers who went to case in the hospital are coming back to Onweke were murdered. What was their offense? Nothing. Security people imported from outside to help us were murdered. Their offense? Nothing. We can't continue with this. People have been asking us to intervene on the case of our brother Nnamdi Kanu. Yes, the governor has been intervening, but we don't have the powers to release it. But the IPOB people should make the case easy for us. When IPOB started, they started with agitation. Can we know those agitations? Apart from agitating for Biafra, we will not lose our wealth scattered all over the country. Let us know the agitation for marginalization. If you trust Ohanese, allow them. We will make way for them to go to the center and renegotiate. If you trust the governors, National Assembly, or can, we draw this challenge. But we can't do that in the midst of confusion. IPOB says we are not the one in charge of killing. They are basically hijacked, and they need to redeem themselves. I will put it forward for them to disband together with ESL. Allow the governors to take the challenges of the security of our states. We are ready to empower you. We are ready to take your grievances to the center. You can't shave our heads in absence. If you're really fighting for us,
Nuisance Lele. Nuisance Lele. Nuisance Lele.
3 times, nuisance. Do you see them? Like I told you, politicians who decided to even do everything to divide the same IPOB, blacklisted them, you proscribed them, you were hunting innocent people and accusing them of crimes that your own armed criminals are committing. You are killing them. And then you are pretending. What are those agitations, Seth? Oh, we can't even, what? Let us protect our people. The same devil Umai, after they succeeded in kidnapping Nnamdi Kanu, harming some of their jobless youth, okay, called the unknown gunmen. The same devil Umai here.
In the southeast, you don't have cattle routes. But in the north, we have cattle routes. And so nobody is going to say ban, open grazing, in some areas in the north where there are cattle routes, where they move constitutionally from one point to the other. But in the south, there is no cattle route. And so for you to move from one point to the other, you have to move through farms. You have to move through, population, dense areas. And this is not very good. And that's what the southern governors, and of course Southeast in particular, are saying. Let's go back to our traditional method of relationship. We will no longer allow you to take your cattle from one local government to the other. And the implication is that these foreign headers also come in terms of, mobile headers with AK-47. So that is a source of conflict. So anybody that is saying that there should be no ban on this thing is, on the other hand, saying that, look, these killings will continue. And that's what gave birth to ESN. Whether we support it as governors, we don't. But the people tend to support it because of the foreign headers that pretend that they are rearing cattle and then they are killing. And in my own village, a white man was kidnapped in my village that's doing construction, by these foreign headers. And we've encouraged the federal government, let's treat this, cattle raiding as a business. Take money from the federation account and develop ranches where they are designated ranches, especially in the north. And the northern governors are willing, but it's been frustrated.
Nuisance lele. Nuisance lele.
Are you still following me? I'm sorry if you join midway, but somehow you can always catch up. Okay? This segment is like, giving all of us the timeline of the fooling of those who have managed to play you for years on this Nnamdi Kanu's position and this ordeal. And tomorrow is going to be 899th day that they have locked him up and kept him there without any single evidence of a crime committed. But everything is said, everything they hunted him for and wanted him dead for, they also acknowledge. Not because they had intention of making any difference. Do you understand? They just wanted him gone, and the problem remains. So if you're now keeping an innocent person because of the way he talks or how he talks, there is no crime in the way I talk or how I talk, and then you have to kind of take away my liberty this way. I mean, you might be comfortable having him there away, okay? But take a look around you. For those who told you is the problem, somehow in your head, once it's away, maybe everything will be back. Look at your lives today. Look at Nigeria. It will be 899th day tomorrow that they have locked him up illegally. At a point, Buhari was even living this emperor life. Royal life. In fact, he was even playing God. Buhari was playing God. He called the eastern part of Nigeria just a dot in a circle. He said, if their own parents did not kind of tell them the history of 1967 to 1970, where Nigeria and their collaborators starved over 5 million women, children, and civilians per se to death and forced a sort of a submission, like surrender. And those who perpetrated the genocide, they got rewarded, like I told you. So Buhari was one of them. He was like a king, a small god. He said he will wipe them out of the circle. the Igbos are just dotting a circle that can be wiped off. He wants to wipe off over 70 million people, wipe their history, wipe everything about them. How is that even possible? But Buhari believed he was doing the right thing, since their parents who survived that genocide did not tell them to keep their head down and their mouth shut and just follow wherever they are pushed into. In Nigeria, he would teach them a lesson. He said that he threatened the Igbos. And today, he's an elder statesman in Nigeria. Let's play a reminder.
Yeah, now, Your Excellency, you talked about talking to the people of Northeast in a language they understand. That is the whole, there's a crisis around that language. So it shows that because you were a former military man, you are talking about, using force to restore order. But it's understood in another way, especially given what happened last week when you spoke about the Southeast, IPOB and all that. One, the controversy of Twitter. When is the government going to lift ban on Twitter?
To lift the ban?
No, the suspension of Twitter. Because, when is Nigerians are expecting when the government will lift it ban? And two, how are we going to resolve the crisis in the Southeast?
Well, Southeast, I was encouraged by what I heard. Nobody told me. Two statements from the South. One by elderly people. No, South. Yes, by elderly people. They said this time around there will be no access to sea. I'm sure you will understand what they mean. Again, the youth made the same statement. That encouraged me. So that IPOB is just like a dot in a circle. If they want to exist, they would have no access to anywhere. And the way they are spread all over the country, having businesses, having property, I think IPOB doesn't know what they are talking about. In any case, we said we'll talk to them in the language they understand. We'll organize the police and the military to pursue them. That's what we can do. And we will do it.
What about Twitter?
Twitter? That I will give to myself. What?
Well, still on the Southeast, Mr. President, how do you plan to include more people from the Southeast, and indeed the South in general, to include more people in the Southeast, and indeed the South in general, in your government, especially in security services and MDAs?
You look at, say, NNPC, look at the military. People who have been there for 18 years, or people who have been there, say, for 10 years, they trained in Zaria or in Abeokuta. They come through the ranks, and because they served under all the circumstances, the crisis and everything, and they gradually rise to that status. And you think you just pick somebody just to balance up? These positions have to be earned. Those positions have to be earned. There are people who have been there for 10, 15 years. And you just because somebody will say, well, there's nobody. If you don't join, you are not forced to join. But when you join, you go through the rigmarole. You go through the problem throughout, and you learn by the system.
Yeah, but Your Excellency, in the case of the Chief of Army Staff, there are almost 30 generals who have to be retired now or whatever because of demand, because of the rank of the current Chief of Staff.
Do you know why he was serving before he becomes the Chief of Army Staff? Maiduguri, where? You can't get to pick just somebody because he is wearing seniority and make him. You put somebody who has been in the mill, who has suffered with the soldiers, they know him, he fought with them and so on. To tell you the truth, on individual basis, all these chaps, they know me. Because I want to do, but I don't know them, I have forgotten them. Some of them, I don't know them.
So operational experience was a factor.
It is, because the soldiers, to be effectively led, must be somebody they know they are alone to him. He exposed himself to him.
If you leave the security services, I believe one of the things we're talking about is signaling and of belonging. Beyond security, Southeast, they want to be secretary to government. They want to be other things. Like you said, you've chosen 2 or 3 of them, like Okadigo as VP. So you've said you don't have anything against them. So why don't you, as father of all, bring them more together? Make them feel belonging, make them feel like your children.
Huh? You better get a list of our civil servants. If you think there are no people from the Southeast. There are people from the Southeast. But they know they have to go through the mill.
Mr. President,
Nuisance lele.
Buhari. I know that, especially if you go on Facebook now, you will see some of these Lagos Abobakus, Oshogbo Alimajiris. They are the, what do you call, they are the bad starts of Yoruba land. And somehow, majority of them believe that their unfortunate existence or misfortune in life is because an Igbo man or woman exists. And I am saying this not because I want to, what do you call it? I want to massage the ego of you who are Igbos watching me right now. The reason why some of you stumbled on this is because I am talking about an injustice against one man tonight. And the injustice against millions as well, which is what I do every night. Do you understand? However, we have all these bad starts in Yoruba land whose yesterday, today, and tomorrow have been mortgaged by the criminals, like the criminals you have in Eastern Nigeria. We have them plenty in Yoruba land, Western Nigeria too. You see all those bad starts. Majority of them are unfortunate in an unfortunate economy created by these criminals. They are poor, deluded, and most of them blame all this. If they have been unable to actually, some of them who have not been able to make headway, like the Bambi Alas among them, they blame the Igbos for why they are what they are. So if you see them watching this video, begin to masturbate in public, I just want to let you know this caveat. They don't speak for the Yorubas. Do you understand? Because if we are all being sensible, okay, what the IPOB stands for, referendum that is not war. Every part of Nigeria should be demanding for that, at least right now. But unfortunately, some of us have been completely enslaved. So if you see them on social media, they are not different from those who are suffering and smiling, but they are telling others they will have, they will shed tears for 8 years. You will cry for 8 years. Tinubu will be this for 8 years. They are not different from them. Do not, for any reason, entertain them, except if your own bigotry against the Yorubas is out of control too, because now all of us get our biases. But with everyday education, enlightenment and all that, a lot of us have outgrown that nonsense. The problem of Nigeria is not limited to any part of Nigeria. Everyone is a victim, but not everyone knows that he's a victim. Do you understand? So if your own bigotry against the Yorubas is out of control, you can go ahead. Awora woni una don't see yourselves bigoted Igbo versus bigoted Yoruba. But one thing is very clear: none of you speaks for either Igbo or Yoruba, because bigoted minds are dark minds. They are like a dark souls that self-destructs and destroys everything around it as well. So hopefully, with this little light that we are shedding here and there, a lot of you will know that even if you want to try to exterminate yourselves because of the hatred and divisions that they have managed to psychologically engrave in you successfully, at least let us have something clear. Okay, you have one common enemy before you exterminate yourselves. And if possible, with a little and more enlightenment and education, just maybe and maybe, you will eventually come together to face your common enemy. But for now, enjoy your bigotry as it lasts. But for Nnamdi Kanu, let me tell you about the cost of keeping Nnamdi Kanu in prison. The cost of lives, I've mentioned that. You can't put a price on that one. But when you talk about the economic costs of keeping Nnamdi Kanu in prison to Nigeria alone, over nothing, even you that is suffering and smiling in freedom, walking about here and there, you will accept that they should let him go. Because what is the point anymore? So Nnamdi Kanu said, 1 million Buhari can never jail him. Because on what? Go and tell him he's a madman. He said it.
The law has shown whatever they want to. For what? My name was this in the newspaper. My picture was big in the newspaper. And you want to try it will not happen. Calm down. Now he brings his sister to tell his secret. What nonsense is that? What else is that? They think they can jump me down, man. They can't do it. They cannot do it. They are not letting enough to tell you. They are not letting enough to tell you. They are mad. They are mad. They can't tell me. No way. When the time comes, it's okay. What stupid country is this? So when you still press somebody's secret, when you like, you find a secret. When you like it's in public, what stupid country is that? What stupid country is that I ask you? When you like, you try and when you like to try in private, they are killing my people. They are killing my people. They are killing IPOB. They are killing my people. After killing my people, you tell me all the time in secret. The person is mad. Completely mad. Tell Buhari, that's what I said. That he is mad. He cannot tell me. He cannot tell me. He's a madman. There's a contempt of court proceedings here. Contempt of court. They don't obey court order. They don't obey court order. You're telling me secret trial. Is the person mad? Rubbish. Rubbish. Okay. Never have you stopped. Now. We have not finished talking about now. Onye du IPOB, o meriwo n'izu, onye ya abakare, mama Nnamdi, unapuri meri Nnamdi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, now Python dance 3. Unapuri meri Nnamdi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2. Now Python dance 3. Unapuri meri Nnamdi bu onye du IPOB, o meriwo n'izu, mbiro ya abakare, mama Nnamdi, unapuri meri Nnamdi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, now Python dance 3. Unapoli Mary Nnamdi. Nnamdi win the war. Python, 1, Python, 2, Python, 3. Unapoli Mary Nnamdi. Nnamdi win the war. Python, 1, Python, 2, Python, 3. Unapoli Mary Nnamdi. Nnamdi win the war. Python, 1, Python, 2, Python, 3. Unapoli Mary Nnamdi. Nnamdi win the war. Python, 1, Python, 2, Python, 3. Unapoli Mary Nnamdi.
So tomorrow, the Supreme Court of Nigeria will give a judgment expectedly on whether Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has committed any crime or not, has been alleged by the jihadists Buhari and Malamu. 899 days. That's a lot of, from June 2021, December 2023. Tomorrow we make it 899 days. And that's been a long journey. It comes at a cost too. He has been tortured. He has been denied access to his medical care. He has been denied access to his regular prayer session. He has been denied access to see his family lawyers on many occasions. He has been locked in what they call what do you call that cell? That confinement, solitary confinement by these murderous criminals. And in 899 days, Nigeria is owing him 13 billion naira in court judgments. The last appeal court, when they couldn't present anything, you want to jail someone for asking for a referendum. You are trying to manufacture evidence. They still couldn't stick. The court told them, by law, they cannot try Nnamdi Kanu in any court in Nigeria. Why? Because the process of bringing him back to Nigeria means Nigeria broke international law. They kidnapped him. They didn't extradite him legally. And that makes every legal activities on his case in Nigeria null and void. That was what their court said. He must be released, put on a plane, paid 13 billion naira, and returned back to Kenya. Now, if you really want to have a case with Nnamdi Kanu, then you can then go and do it right in Kenya. Begin a court case against him in Kenya. And that must be the extradition case. Now, when he loses that case, is when you can now bring him to Nigeria and try him for any crime. Apart from the fact that you have no evidence against him for 2 years, guys, you can't even try him. That's what their law says. So that's what they expected the Supreme Court to now do something about. So it's an easy peasy thing, isn't it? Easy peasy. Go away. We are sorry. Sorry, we can't pay you 13 billion. We can't pay you 13 billion. But we'll pay you 10. And it must be paid in the currency of your choice. Pay him that. And give him that red carpet to go to wherever he wants to go to. If his destination is London, just let him have that royal pass. If his destination is Afarauku in Abia, let him have that royal pass. Because he has done nothing other than to provoke the criminal establishment of Eastern Nigeria, stroke that of the entire Nigeria, and they couldn't even convict him. That's the point, too. I just want you to know that, too. Every other thing can be put together as conjectures and then speculations and all that stuff. They don't hold anything. They are not facts. He has won over 13 cases against Nigeria, against the Eastern governors, against this, against that, since this whole madness starts. So if the Supreme Court of Nigeria, I'm not banking on it, oh, don't look at me like that, okay? I'm not banking on it, but it is the right thing to do. Let him go. Let him go. And remind Nigeria criminals that asking for referendum is not a call for war. It is a democratic call. There are Igbos that will tell you they will never vote for Biafra for their own reasons. But there are Igbos that will tell you, all they are waiting for before they die is to see an independent Biafra. Give two of them that chance. Those who don't want, those who want, give them that chance. And we can put this to bed. And we can stop legalizing genocide against ethnic cleansing in Nigeria. Because trust me, with what I have learned in my life, if you don't break up Nigeria now, all of you will believe that you are on the safer side today. You will find yourself on the, either yourself or your children, they will find themselves on the other side of the table next time. Oh dear. I don't want to imagine it. So tomorrow, let him go. And for the first time, be honest with the rest of the world. Who are those behind the sudden surge in act of criminality in eastern part of Nigeria? Go after them. You know why Nnamdi Kanu is so important to be released? He is going to expose everything that some of these criminals have sort of eroded for so long, the lies and all of those things. He is the only verified unifying factor for this cause. It's so crucial to the peaceful economic progress of Eastern Nigeria, especially for this period. And there are those who will do everything to make sure that that never happens. So I have actually painted few scenarios in my head. After telling you all of this, and some of you will conclude with me like, oh, it's true, they should just let him go. But by tomorrow, it is either they will tell you that the Supreme Court judges, for some reason, they can't sit tomorrow. And you know it is already Yuletide time, so they will now say they are going on a legal break until next year. And they can create all kinds of excuses just to continue to keep him there. But I actually pray that that scenario playing up in my head remains in my head and never happens. An innocent man has been kept away simply because some people are so afraid of having a conversation about the current state of Nigeria and the people inside the country to decide their own fate, be given the opportunity to decide the type of country they want to exist in. That's a threat to the establishment. And the establishment is a threat to you, to me, even to itself. We can all see how the establishment itself right now is self-destructing. And they won't mind if millions of lives are also wasted for this. But just before that happens, I don't care what they have told you. I don't care how much you hate him or whatever you have against him. Ask yourself one simple question. If you are accused of something and then you are locked up for it, the court says they should let you go. But the criminals are not satisfied. They lock you up still. Would you be happy with yourself, telling yourself that it is better they keep you there, lock you up there? Would you say that to yourself in that situation, right? Of course you won't. And that's why majority of you are hypocrites. or whatever it is, whatever comes may, I look forward to Nnamdi Kanu's release because it has a serious, significant role to play. His freedom and his release. And this time around, it should be unconditional. Harassing him, threatening him, and then killing people in this manner should also cease, or else Nigeria will know no peace. We should stop lying to ourselves. You see, one thing about injustice is that, as they say, injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere. Injustice against one is injustice against everyone. Do not wait till you become a victim of it. The criminals only need an excuse to lock you up. Baba, they locked you up because of hashtag revolution now. And there are those who justified that. You could be next. And why people like this? You know, it's actually a joke of a country. Under Buhari, terrorists have been rewarded. Activists have been hunted down, jailed, or even killed. Like I said, do not wait till you become that victim, because all they need is just one simple excuse to get rid of you, like they would want to of every Biafran or every Igbo demanding for that referendum. And sooner or later, it's going to happen. I hope you know that, or you don't. Anyway, thanks so much for that. We're going to go to the next thing. Okay, this one is like a briefing, right? Let's start with the recap. Latest from River States. That's kind of strange. Did people say there is no sound? Hang on. Did you say no sound? I'm so sorry about that too. Can you hear me? Or do you see no? You can't hear me too, right? And I could hear all of that. So sad, right? Oh, I'm sorry. Now, sorry about that, okay? So we'll take it again. It's actually like a catch-up. You know what I mean? Like on the River State issue, okay? Sorry about that. Let's try that again. And if the audio is the same, I'll just patch it, okay? I'll just leave it and then I'll use my own... I'm so sorry. That's technical, by the way. You know, it's not like I mean, I could hear myself. I mean, I could hear that.
Against. All was well in the River State House of Assembly until October the 30th, 2023, when fire engulfed its hallowed chambers, destroying the properties there. What was thought to be a public emergency degenerated by the next morning into a political crisis, with some members of the House led by Martins Amehule accusing some others led by Edson Ehie of being culpable of the inferno. In a swift turn of events, two groups effectively emerged from the House, with Martins Amehule and Edson Ehie heading each group and announcing each other's suspension.
As the new Speaker of the 10th River State House of Assembly, I will not betray Rivers people, I will not betray my constituents.
The Amehule group, believed to be loyal to the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, immediately began impeachment proceedings against Governor Similaye Fubara.
Mr. Speaker, the reason for this motion is for inefficiency and ineffectiveness. Mr. Speaker, I so move.
The governor's attempt to visit the assembly complex, in his words, to inspect the level of damage caused by the fire was initially met with stiff resistance by men of the Nigerian police force, raising concerns about their disposition in the matter.
I'm calling on the security agencies. From what I've seen, the security is even compromised.
Yeah, exactly.
They were shooting at me. They were shooting at me. This operation was shooting at me directly.
Despite the intervention by the president and some elders, the political atmosphere in the state has remained tense, with supporters and sometimes the main actors still talking tough.
Those who fought you, when you're struggling for the person to be in office, nobody does that. I'm not a political ingrate. I'm not. But don't touch the political structure of River State.
The fight is also dragged to the corridors of the judiciary, with the Edison's group accusing the Amehule's group of contempt of court for continuing to convene plenary in defiance of a state high court order. The Amehule group is, however, bragging of a federal high court order which permits them to sit. The high point of the crisis, however, came today, December 11th, when the Amehule-led assembly members, set to be 27 in number, defected from the People's Democratic Party to the All Progressives Congress.
The reason for the defection by the 27 members of this House are purely in line with the provisions of the 1999
Constitution. That's what they all say, Abi. So today, Sim Fubara signed 800 billion naira budget to law. He submitted it yesterday. It was approved yesterday, and he has signed it into law today. But the others, right? Others also met today at one of the halls in the State Assembly complex. Okay, so they met and they said this time around they didn't meet to discuss. These are the 27 or 26 House of Assembly members that they come to APC. So they met today to pass 2 laws. They said 2 laws. So, and it was inside the part of the demolished State Assembly complex. Also, in that same rivers, while Fubara presented this, analyzed and all that, right? The part of his own administration, his own commissioners rather, the Commissioner for Justice resigned. Okay, they said he's loyal to Wike. So another person also has also resigned. That one is like a Commissioner for Special Duty. Emeka resigned. The Chief Justice, the Attorney General of Rivers State was also the Attorney General of Rivers State under Commissioner of what did they call it? They say Commissioner of Justice, Attorney General. So he resigned, and they said there are going to be many others. All these resignations are coming from Fubara himself, telling them that he's going to sack all of them. because that's what's going to end it. Some of them are honorably putting in their own resignation and leaving now. However, others are saying, well, Fubara would have to surround himself with, you know what I mean, like some of this money for hand, cash for hand, back for ground guys that are going to be like their loyalty is sort of, you know, as a prize. However, whatever that means, I told you yesterday that when we get to day 4, the action continues. Whichever of them, now people are calling on Tinubu to do something anyway. Well, that's just reverse. I want to go to something else before we started taking calls tonight. See, you see why a lot of you who pretend to come and defend APC, Egbekegbe, or Tinubu, or Buhari on Mayegun's diary political. A lot of you no get sense. For those of you who get sense and still defending defending APC, Egbekegbe, a lot of you pretend to, that few of you who get sense, you are doing it because of what you believe you are likely going to get from it. So you come around. What you don't understand, because like I said, you don't get sense, is that most of their actions and what they are doing, they are not like directly going to affect me. I am not directly affected by all the madness, the shenanigans, the criminalities of your criminal leaders. A majority of you are the victims. But you know why I am not sitting down here, right? Always gloating and all kind of make mockery of some of you with this. Is because the consequences of some of your actions or your choices with your with your tunnel vision and all that, your myopic views or how you see the world, right? The consequences of all of this are not limited to you. When you enable all these rogues and criminals and they begin to do all they are doing, the consequences is not limited to those of you who chooses and defend them. It spreads, and those who rejected them are also suffering from it. Like the economy, the ruined healthcare, where that never existed anyway. So kind of the destroyed, adulterated education, poor infrastructure, corruption, and everything that you are dealing with today. The consequences of that is not limited to those of you who are following them. It is for everyone. Like the breakfast that they say, rather than people to get fed. Well, it should be a thriving economy. They are breeding poverty-stricken economy. And you are the product of that. So when I go sit here and speak, I'm actually speaking because I still have a chance to speak. I may not have that chance, like so many people who are currently existing, but they have no chance to actually speak out of what they are facing in that contraption. Kalu was calling on Nigerians abroad. All of you who are doctors abroad. Say your people need you back home. Come back home. Come and become doctors again at home. Just like that. But the world doesn't work that way. Your actions are what will make people want to come back there. They will come back, even without announcing it to you. You will feel it. Even without paying anybody to tell all of us that people are returning to Nigeria. As much as you are spending so much money to make people feel like living Nigeria, businesses living Nigeria, is because they cannot compete with other businesses in Nigeria. Not because Nigerians have become so poor that your purchasing power can no longer sustain any real business in Nigeria anymore, including the ones that you are saying as alternatives right now. When was the last time you've been to the mall? When are you going to stop lying to yourselves? When was the last time you've been to the mall? When last time have you been to that same market? Are those markets still like they used to be? Do people even have money to buy those things? Are people not so poor that even when you display all these wares, they have no money to buy them? Isn't that the reality? And businesses are dying slowly. slowly. And these guys are making the mouth. Nigeria is ready. Nigeria have the population. What is the usefulness of the useless population that lives off handout? Are you not seeing that? You are the giant of Africa. Goodluck Egbere Jolantan said, Nigeria is not any giant, but a giant snail that is crawling slowly in a garden. That's not giant, that's a burden. Your population is no longer a blessing. It is a burden. How can't you see? That is the result of the criminals. APC, PDP, and the rest of all their lackeys. Can't you see that? Eh? Telling people that Nigerians need them. Of course they can see that, but they don't need, the Nigerians don't need us. They don't need us. Nigerians needs to get sense and get rid of people like Tinubu and gang, or else whatever you are facing right now, think about your children in 10 years, how they will exist in that Nigeria if things don't change. They are still doing the same thing they do. Over bloated cabinets all over the place. Special advisor, special assistants. Thousands of people who are just like freeloaders, grifters, scavengers, scroungers, pickpockets. They had no value. That's the trajectory. They are still going. And they want you to so be passionate. I love Nigeria. I want to go back. Oh, come on. Stop that nonsense. It doesn't work that way. So do you understand that if people are to come back, you don't need to sell them lies. The world is so transparent now that every one of us can see clearly, except for those that they have been psychologically brainwashed beyond redemption. And that is very sad, because surprisingly, a lot of them are in the majority. Sadly so. Tinubu is asking the doctors to come back to Nigeria to come and start collecting $300, $400 a month. They won't even pay you. What about your children? Oh, they are safe wherever they are right now, right? Do you see any incentive of taking your family back to Nigeria? Especially those of you who love Nigeria from abroad. I mean, Tinubu is not really talking to a lot of us anyway, so probably talking to those of you who professes that you love Nigeria from abroad. I love Nigeria. Stop tarnishing Nigeria image. Let us come together and work for our country. Let us come together and make our country great. And see, they need you in Nigeria. They need you in Nigeria. Be a role model. Patriotic Nigerian. Hypocrite. You won't go there, no? You won't? Would you? No, you won't. Kalu knows that. And more are still going to run away. More are going to get away. Today, maybe you can tell yourselves that the reasons why doctors are running away from Nigeria is because they cannot compete with your agbo sellers. Can we start that? Can we actually? Does that make any sense? Eh? The doctors in Nigeria, nurses in Nigeria are running away from Nigeria because they cannot compete. Right. With the babalawos and the mamalawos. People are becoming so poor that even the word poor is like a luxury. So, oh, can you, oh my God, and I so love you because you are poor. That's such a precious name. Why? Because if there is anything that can describe the average life of 104 million Nigerians, as this latest statistics just came out, if you have anything to describe anything below poor, can you give me something below poor? Because poverty with what people are really experiencing, and they are still going to experience, could end up as a luxurious, a luxurious world, like a luxury world, like a royalty. APC is making Nigerians believe that God loves the poor, but they don't want to be poor. They're using your resources to get the best of everything. Like whatever money can buy. But they are making you feel like God loves you so much that He's going to punish all the rich people that fail to give you money. That your tears, a drop. Do you know that? They said a teardrop of a poor man or woman is such a very powerful thing. If the tear can't enter that person's mouth like that you taste your tears, if you curse your leaders, it will happen to them sharp. They are making you feel like being poor is even a privilege. And it is not. It is absolute nothing. Because poverty, degrades. Oh dear. Diminishes humans if you have been poor. And then you have kind of tasted the other side of not being poor. Of course, you will never want to be poor. I will never be poor in Jesus' name. It's a very popular slang on social media. As if to say saying it alone is enough. I will never be poor in my life. That is a Nigerian that the world has been rigged against even before you were born. Imagine you want to compete with the rest of the world. The day they born you, you have no idea, or you will discover that 18 years later, or probably earlier than that the world is rigged against you. Your mates all over the world, they are open to different opportunities to build them and prepare them for that future. In Nigeria, they are preparing you to join the team of prayer warriors, praying for unity, praying for electricity, praying for healthcare, praying for education, praying for good leaders, praying for criminal leaders not to steal, praying to God to change the heart of the roguish criminal leaders. The world is rigged against you. You know that. And if you have to put that in number, listen to me. It is like once you are not one of those who are lucky to have the chance of taking in all the Commonwealth for themselves and their generations unborn, the world is rigged against you. It's like going into a football game, a football match against Real Madrid with you and your Otompo teammates selected from the creek, and the rest of that place is where you are like, poorly fed. No training, no experience, no nothing. And Real Madrid has already been on the board. It says Real Madrid is leading 4-1. And there you are, Nigerian. The world is rigged against. So if you manage to score one goal or two, and everybody's life is kind of staged that way, because everything happening to everyone in Nigeria today is what is planned and expected to be that same way. Until you decide not to have it that way anyway, it's up to you. Businesses are living. They are living simply because they can no longer cope with the cost of doing businesses in Nigeria, including if they have to produce or get this and get that only for the poorest Nigerians, not being able to afford them. And then you begin to run out losses and losses on sales. And then some will say, oh, maybe your competitors are gaining them. No, your competitors are not gaining your customers. Because even your customers who cannot afford what you are producing or selling to them, no matter how important that what you are, that your supply is to them, even your competitors, right? So far they couldn't afford yours. Majority of them could not afford your competitors too. And that is why when you listen to these social media bandits, Facebook adsmen, Buhari Danes, Buhari Diderins, Buhari Dinotus, Buhari Dijatus, Buhari Shukus, Ngozi Haris, Nneka Haris, sophisticated morons, humbled slaves, including those ones who are the crumb eaters, crumb chasers, ass lickers, all risers from Lagos. The Lagos Abobakus. When they tell you that the reasons why people are living or businesses are living is simply because they couldn't compete with others. Baba, you and I know the truth. You do? Abi? When you can't afford these ones because it's expensive, what about the ones that you think are not expensive? Are they cheaper too? Affordability has made more Nigerians poorer than any description. Otigbonipa multi-dimensional poverty. Ìyẹn mean pé when you are getting all of the poverty, when poverty is like threatening you from all the facets of your life, Baba, with the type that poverty will hold you and say, I will finish you this year. And you will be like, in Jesus' name, you will not finish me in Jesus' name. A lot of people fell this year. A lot of them are watching me on this screen today. Their businesses died. People lost their jobs. And right now on my screen, watching me right now, they're looking back. This wasn't the 2023 they planned or expected.
Oh, gbogbo ala máa jẹ breakfast. Àsìkò tó ní kálukú máa jẹ tiẹ̀ ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ ni. Súnmọ́ bìlà. Oh, gbogbo ala máa jẹ breakfast. Àsìkò tó ní kálukú máa jẹ tiẹ̀ ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ ni. Súnmọ́ bìlà.
Sumobile. Sorry about that. I sort of had a frozen screen. Businesses will continue to leave. Not because Mayegun wants to be happy that businesses are leaving. No, this is economic disaster. And you know what the responsible government in the world does in a situation like this? They will cut down every excessive governmental waste. Divert all their resources into every phase of their economy. Save as many as possible. Begin to make regulation reforms. Okay? Begin to hunt down those who are indeed sabotaging the system in one way or another. You begin to clean everywhere. How can you do that when your judiciary is corrupt? Where almost every part of your system is corrupt. You can't do that. Do you see why I said you can't save Nigeria? None of us can. So tomorrow, I want all of us to look forward to the first step of so many other steps, especially in 2024 and beyond. The release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. There is so much to teach ourselves. There is so much, so many sheep that have gone astray. There are so many of you that needs to know the danger around you, no matter what else they are telling you about Nigeria. Those of us who are speaking up is not because we hate Nigeria. I don't hate Nigeria. I mean, hate is a very strong word for me. I don't really hate things or people. I may not like you. And I'll tell you my reason. For what Nigeria has become, unity is not just a word, okay? It is more than a word. Which means, if you want to ask for unity, you must be somebody who also kind of will support justice. Justice is a key to unity, coexistence. Where there is justice, there is peace. And tomorrow could be a start. I'm going to go make myself another cup of tea. Somebody asked, Mayegun, is that green tea? You won't kill me. They say green tea, even though it's all fake, right? Slim tea and all those things, right? Me, we be say, for years, I've always wanted to be like, man, just wake up one morning And all of you will begin to say, Amayegun, you need to lose weight too. Amayegun, you are becoming, Amayegun, you need to. Nobody has told me in my life to lose weight. And I wish they would say that to me before I die. So with all this skinniness and all this tininess and all of that, if I did drink slim tea or green tea, would you still like me, or you won't call 999? You will not call 911. Say somebody won't kill himself on live broadcast too. So it is just the regular tea and honey. Right. So to those of us who have been here, or if you are here for the first time, remember, you need to like this broadcast. Subscribe to my channel. I do this all the time. That's for those who are joining for the first time. We are called the Temple of Truth. Amayegun General. I am the MOG. Don't go anywhere. My goons will begin to call in, share their views. So I will be back in 2 minutes. Thank you. And to those of us, I mean, again, we are over 2,000 on YouTube, right? And we were once over 200, nearly 300 on Facebook. So thank you to everybody who actually responded and liked the video. So do your best to do that, okay? Just like the broadcast. And then you can also pick up your phone and dial in. And you could be speaking to me like this. Like this, my caller. Hello there.
Hello, my good general.
Hello, sir. How are you?
MG.
Yes, sir.
You're on fire today, as usual, on fire.
You know how I am when it comes to this injustice that has lasted this long. Let's be honest.
Yes, yes. Yeah, the defender. Yeah, the defender of the defenseless. Yes.
Yeah. Go on, sir.
Yes, yes. I did see from Atlanta.
CA, I can see that. Nice one, man.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, anytime we talk about Buhari regime, I always get, picked. Like the last time I talked about Buhari, 64,000 people dead in 8 years of Buhari.
That's right.
64,000. Now, in 8 years, 40 court decisions disregarded, no respect for rule of law. 40 court cases. 40 court cases, judgment given. Yet they didn't abide by any of them. Foreign. So that means in every year we have 5 court cases that Buhari will say no to the court. 5 per year. 5 times 8 is 14.
That's right.
So an average of 5 every year. Court cases that Buhari would tell the judges to go to hell. And we could say this is a country where we have rule of law. So it's sad that somebody that's a stark illiterate like Buhari was president for 8 years. The guy's an illiterate. Like I said, his best topic is Ruga. That's the only thing he knows. The rest, he can't even read the statement given to him. But that's the country we have. If you want to look at why Nigeria is where we are today, look back at what our leader, I keep saying, look back at our leaders. Our leaders will tell you the kind of people and the kind of government you're going to get. Look at what is happening today. Secondary school unknown, primary school unknown, Chicago University, University of Chicago. Nobody knows if this man went to school. And you expect the country to be great. It's impossible. It's impossible. And for all those that are telling you, why are you complaining? Just don't mind them. Just keep doing your job.
I will.
Because when you talk, they tell you you complain too much. So they want everybody to be quiet, and the country is drifting. Naira today was 8,310. Today, somebody changed the Naira.
Today is 8,565. It's going to 2,000
so
to a pound.
It's going to hit 1.5 first, then going to go to 2,000 for dollar very soon. And people don't want you to talk. And the people that defend these people in power are those people dragging the nation back. That the people driving the nation back, they will tell you, we're just 60 years old. How long did it take to develop Dubai? When I was growing up, when I argued with my friends, they would tell Nigeria is too big. How big is Nigeria? Do we have the population of India and China? So they keep making excuses for these guys. Even with the suffering we have now, you still have people coming out to make excuses for them. I don't like taking much time. I just let me chip in. Thank you very much for everything you do, and keep doing it. Thank you.
Thanks a lot as well for stopping by as usual. Okay, God bless you. That's CA from Atlanta, our first caller. Then we have the Prince.
Yes, sir.
The African Wahala. I wanted to say the Prince of Dewale, but I'm like, nah, I'll just say the African Wahala rather. How are you tonight, sir?
I'm doing very well, sir. Thank you very much. Yeah, let me start by thanking you, for what you're doing. Man, I salute you for not even losing the momentum, for keep going year after year, and you're doing this whole thing. It leads me to the conversation I want to have. The conversation is split into 2 parts. The first one is one of the killers, one of the murderous terrorists that have been stealing, looting, and killing the people of Akwa Ibom for over 10 years. Akpabiole. We heard that he collapsed today after celebrating his 61st birthday with Kolu.
That's right.
So, you actually have the video?
Well, time won't let me share that anymore because I actually spent a lot of time on that exclusive report on that Mazi. But yeah, maybe some other time. I heard that too. Go on.
Okay. I mean, some people are going to think it's karma. Maybe all the sins that he has committed are catching up with him. I don't think that's what it is. What happened to Akpabiole is that he's unhealthy. I mean, I was surprised to find out he was just 61. I thought he was like 70 something. But that shows you that these greedy criminals, they are not only lazy in taking care of their people, but they are even lazy in taking care of themselves. Because wealthy people in many other world regions, they would have engaged in healthier eating habits, exercising. I mean, wealthy people are usually slim and they look well because they have the money to do that. But these lazy criminals, they're going to sit down eating akpu. They'll be eating akpu and ogbono from morning to night because they are a disgrace to their family. Now, the second part of the conversation is I was talking about commending you for continuously having this energy, speaking up for us, the people. You put yourself on the line, which is highly, highly respectable. But I do fear sometimes that at the end of the day, many of us might get tired of talking and nothing would eventually change. And we're just going to get tired of talking because it's human nature to get tired of doing the same thing over and over. At some point, you're just going to forge on with life. What do you think about that, brother?
Well, with what I have experienced so far, right? I think this is me. The reason why I said this is me is because I kind of have this personal vow, which is like, I ask myself, what will make me probably just don't give a damn anymore? Yeah. And I was like, that would be the moment that the real thing that have direct impact on the lives of the people, which actually scares me, are being fixed. Okay. For example, one, if I am dead, I won't be able to do anything anymore. That one is guaranteed, right? Then secondly, which is the second option, if they fix for suddenly, right, we no longer have reports of criminals who are looting, committing all these crimes, right, being rewarded anymore. Like we have them in jail, for example. Like we have old, young, all of them, like they're in jail, serving lifetime in jail for what they have done. Then suddenly Nigeria has, a system whereby every part, that is if Nigeria is still existing, Nigeria has every part independently autonomous of one another. All those things, right? Personally, I believe if they exist, development will exist. Peaceful coexistence will exist. Respect for one another will exist. All this threat and all of that will cease gradually. And wherever that's going to take us, okay, I will be more glad to be part of, to be part of the project that will see all of that through. So everyone might be kind of tired, I believe I'm signing up for something that is a lifetime. So if it's going to happen in my lifetime, I will be so grateful. Die a happy man. But if it doesn't, I probably will still die a happy man if I live long enough to make so much impact. Because I want to make more impact than this, more than talking. The African Wahala, right? So if I live long enough and make that impactful difference long enough that even if I die and all I kind of hope for didn't happen, I could leave this world with the, with that fulfillment that at least there are people that could continue. So it's so wide. The more these guys exist, the more they do what they do. I just can't, I can't help it. I can't stop talking. I can't. It's just not possible. It's not easy. What would I be doing? Making money, trying to live my life. Then where would I spend the money? Every time I would remember, I can't go back to that place and live a fearful life. So why would I don't know. I don't know what to do.
I understand,
it's pretty much
my brother.
like it's a lifetime journey for me. And I hope it is for so many people. That this is not a joke. It's not a game. One day, you and I won't have this strength anymore. In fact, our memory will begin to fail us. Do you know that? That we won't be this active anymore. Right? Then if you can imagine what the world will be like if things continue like this for your children, then you better do it now that you have the energy, like me.
Man, I appreciate this motivation, I'll be honest, because, I find myself tired, to be honest. I just find myself tired.
I'm just
with life.
Just tune in. If you don't want to talk, just listen. Like if you're tired of talking,
just listen.
Then just play and listen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because a lot of people, brother, a lot of people, once they cross a certain stage in life, they have families, they have a lot of responsibilities. Now they're thinking, why am I wasting my time with this issue that seems to be a constant? But I appreciate your words of encouragement. And we're going to continue trying. May God help us. Thank you so much, my brother.
Bless you, the African Wahala, right? Stay close,
yes,
please,
sir.
Because you are those who actually motivates me to continue to do this too. And you cannot afford to give up. It's not possible. Don't even think it.
Yes.
Right?
Okay.
They said those who are destroying Nigeria never sleep nor slumber. Why are you tired? When those who are against our lives are not, they neither sleep nor slumber. They are even working on the generations that are going to take care, handle our own children's generation. Why should you be tired? We shouldn't. Please.
Yeah.
Take him.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yes, sir. That's the African Wahala. And I was speaking to all of us directly as well. You can make all the money you have in this world. Well, you see the trajectory they are taking Nigeria? You will always remember, Mayegun, that money will not be enough to exist in the Nigeria that these criminals are creating. It will not be enough. Hello there.
Hello, Mayegun. Good evening.
Hey, is that Lady Charm or who's that?
Yes, it's Charm.
Oh, okay. How are you tonight, ma'am?
I'm fine, thank you. Every time I want to have a conversation, that's when this man wants to talk. It's ridiculous.
They can always
he
be
was
like
quiet
that. But you know
up
what you
until
do?
now.
You can just divert their attention and run into another room. And abroad, we know the key in our rooms in the house, unfortunately. So you can lock the door. Anyway,
I can't lock the door, but it's going to be a quick one.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So, I mean, I've listened to your show patiently, and I'm always blown away, honestly. Today's show was very powerful. But I was listening to it and thinking to myself that you need a wider audience.
I know.
You need a larger, your message needs to go out to a larger audience. I mean, listening to your show, I was just thinking to myself, more people need to hear Mayegun. More people need to hear what you're saying. And I like the fact that your show is your platform is called Diary Political, because it keeps like a chronicle of all the things that have been going on in our in that entity called Nigeria, right? Because I now cast my mind back to when I was much younger. And I look back and I think we were rather sheltered. It never really crossed my mind that we were, honestly, because all we ever thought about was we'll go to university, we'll go to school, we'll come out, we'll work, and things like that.
It was such start a business and start taking care of the old ones and all of that, or maybe even see the world and all that stuff.
Yeah, see the world. I'll be brutally honest with you. I never even imagined I was going to live outside the country. It wasn't even something that I aspired to. It wasn't like, how everybody was like, we're living. It wasn't something that, exactly, it wasn't anything that we aspired, to, that we're going to live outside the country, and even the ones that lived outside the country always wanted to rush back to Nigeria. That was how it was for us. So
they know somewhere to invest it in Nigeria. All of us did, and then somewhere that we wanted to live or where we want to do, but they took all of that away from us, Charm. They have taken all of that away from us.
I don't disagree. And I think the reason why I'm calling is because I was really touched by this show today. And I feel like if more people who were like me, maybe clueless, I think clueless a little bit to the Nigeria that, because Nigeria didn't start to happen today. It has always been this way. The injustice has always been there. The bigotry has always been there. It wasn't anything. What they're doing now, I think, is because a lot of us, so to speak, our eyes are now open. Do you understand? But that bigotry, that, hatred for one another, that injustice, was always there, and I would maybe speak for myself, a little bit ignorant about the depth of the injustice and the depth of the bigotry. I was born in Surulere, born in Lagos State. For all intents and purposes, I'm a Lagosian. Do you understand? But I was never aware that Yoruba people didn't like Igbo people, because I had Yoruba friends. I had Igbo, we had friends everywhere. Do you understand? So, but the bigotry was there. It was just not something that we were, maybe because of the circles, it wasn't pronounced or something.
You just have to hush about them. And we know the category, a section of the Yoruba
of the people.
But for those who grew up in Yoruba land, the reason why you didn't feel that is because the Yorubas have nothing against the Igbos. Inside that same population, that's where you have those bigoted, what I mean?
Those people.
That's why you didn't feel it. All of you will grow up in Yoruba land who are now wondering what's going on. Like, why did this happen? What was this?
Honestly, let me tell you something, Mayegun. Growing up, first of all, we lived in 1004. And then when we had like Salah or something like that, we had Muslims that would give ram, they would distribute rams to everyone, 40 houses down this side, 40 houses down the other. So we were always, it was such a beautiful, my upbringing was beautiful. There was no animosity as far as I could tell. Do you understand?
24 years was enough for APC to kind of spread that. Look at what it is today. 24 years is good enough for Tinubu and his gang. And they've kind of partly succeeded. We now have Yorubas calling Yorubas bastards because they don't want Tinubu. Now, you never used to be us.
Things, you know?
We never had that.
Honestly, you know, and I think the reason why I'm calling is that you need a wider audience, so that if there are people like me still in Nigeria in this day and age, you need to wake up. Just listening to Buhari.
That's why I encourage people to help me share this as it is for now.
The broadcast.
I always like other things I'm working on that will help this as well. You know.
Even like I think somebody mentioned one time about translating your show,
giving it a subtitle and all that,
giving it a subtitle. Yeah, that was giving it a subtitle, because people in the grassroots, I feel they need to hear your message. They need to hear Buhari talk. Do you understand, about so-called fellow Nigerians? Do you understand? Because you know, the way he spoke, would anybody think that he was talking about Nigerians? They probably would think that he was talking about some, minority group of people.
Some inconsequential,
inconsequential thing. But
are you joking, man? He had a pass.
And then he alluded to the fact that the Biafrans they're just in like one small dot.
They are just dot in a circle. He said the South told him that. And I was like, South leaders told him that
that they say dots in a circle.
They are just dots. Are you for real?
But how
president of a country?
President of a country, you don't even know the geography of the people
them
that
in the language
you claim
their
that
parents understand. Really?
Understand. So there's no remorse for the innocent loss of lives during that period. Instead, you want to do some more. You want to remind them so that it is in their consciences, and then in their children's consciences, and even those unborn, that don't mess with the so-called Nigerian.
It's like we didn't kill enough of you. Your parents didn't tell you.
We didn't kill enough of you. They didn't tell you.
We will do it again. Then you will understand the language. How could a president of a country threaten a region, and that didn't spark serious reactions?
But it's not going to, and that's why I'm saying that your platform. I mean, I listen to a lot of people. I listen to Dele Farotimi, and I love him. I love his perspective and everything. But you see, your show, I feel like it needs a wider audience, down to the grassroots, from in every section of our country. They need to hear people like Buhari talk and know that that's not a leader. That's not anybody to look up to. You know, they need to see people being called out, like all these criminals and this and that. They need to hear the real truth, because I don't think, you listen to the news, nobody is telling them the real truth. The clip that you showed of them interviewing Buhari, and he was saying those things about the Southeast, and nobody was challenging him. Instead, they were laughing. And I was like, this is not funny. It's not something to laugh about. It's not humorous. This is a serious problem, which has come to meet all of us here now in 2023, when he was spewing that nonsense he was spewing back then. Right? But our journalists are fond of laughing. They're fond of not taking anything seriously, or taking their politicians to task and really challenging them. I never hear news like yours. Anyway, I don't want to belabor the point, but I believe that you need because I think there are still people ignorant. There are still ignorant people, or people who are a little bit clueless or sheltered.
Until that happens. We will get there.
We need to, your program needs to go, to the grassroots. And I think that once it does go to the grassroots, we will see some kind of
make a serious impact. That's the intention, right? Thank you very much, ma'am. Okay, we will get there. I promise you. Okay, we will.
All right, very good.
And you have a good one. Okay, send me well to the women as well. So here I have now. Listen, you can take a moment and still go and like that broadcast. Okay. If you want more people to see this, you need, especially on YouTube, you need to like the video. And when you like it, I mean, we have over 2,000 of us, right? And we have less than 1,000 of us who have actually done that. That is your own way of contributing or making sure that more people see it, okay? And thank you to everyone who does that even without asking. Hello there.
Hello, good evening, Michael.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
Okay. I'm very well. You?
Well, I'm here. Kind of, like looking forward to tomorrow. I can't imagine what it's going to be like tomorrow evening when we all gather here to say, oh, it has happened. You know what I mean? And I will actually drag and say, But, yeah, I'm optimistic. Apart from that, just say mode.
I've already bought my popcorn and I'm really, so I'm just waiting. But I think my analysis of the whole thing is, Tinubu does not want to release. He's not in his original plans to release Nnamdi Kanu, but he's going to make this move because he's still desperate for legitimacy.
That's right.
That is what he does. That is what I see him doing. And tomorrow I don't see them saying Nnamdi Kanu just go home. What they may do is they are likely to move him to a lesser security facility, and in a few days or maybe before Christmas or before the New Year, we'll just hear the news that he's home. I think that is what we're going to do. Tomorrow,
small thing that Supreme Court may meet tomorrow and say we are reserving our judgment until later date. But behind the scene, they would have moved in, all of the arrangement and breaking in.
No, they won't. No, they may announce actually that he's moved out because the facility he's staying now is so they move him to a better.
Go on.
They move into a better facility, and then maybe before the New Year or Christmas. So he is going to, because he's seeking legitimacy everywhere that he wants it. The man is confused. He's just confused, just going around and round and round.
It's not his own fight now. He has no problem with IPOB or a problem with Nnamdi Kanu. So it's just Buhari's fight, which he couldn't even win. Now the fight is cold.
No. Obviously, he took over. Listen, Nnamdi Kanu cannot be, because they wanted to break his spirit. You can't break the spirit. If the man comes out now, he will start talking like a fella will say, "I'm basket mouth." He is going to say. He's going to say. So if you think that releasing Nnamdi Kanu is going to buy his silence, he's just having a laugh. He had better go.
Buhari tried it. It didn't work. I trust
it didn't work.
It didn't work.
So he's going to have more in his hands, that people are going to put him under more pressure. See, the only thing he can do right now, Tinubu, and he would never ever do it, is just resign honorably. At least give it to the Boko Haram guy that we know is already Boko Haram, and then we know how we'll deal with that one, But he's not going to resign. He wants to die there. He's been seeking this thing on his CV to be the president.
I don't know if you have seen it. You guys saw it, but because we are living in a world where sometimes, right, all of us should tell ourselves that words are very powerful. So you be careful how you use them. That's why my Mayegun's diary political, when I say things, I say, well, if I say anything that makes you or offends you, don't threaten me, don't sue me for defamation. That's how it is done, okay? But because we have this chat now, that's why I'm going to say this, okay? Somebody, I don't know if you have seen it. Somebody came out, and this person with the name, I don't know if it's real or fake, but it's from Northern Nigeria. And he said, a president is going to die in January 2024 by plane crash. I didn't say which president. So Nigerians now, for some reason, people with dark art, you will say, and all that, they bombarded the place. Then people started mentioning the shitty man that you better be careful what you wish for. You see this the word that is the jihadisti, Shekau. If that one finally take over Nigeria, that now die with deal. Just because you mentioned it, that's why I'm saying it now. So you don't mind for the Shekau to take over? I mean, if Kalu resign and go away,
I'm not saying that I don't mind, but what I'm trying to say is that even if Tinubu should resign or anything happens, we are now going to be dealing with
whatever happens, we will have to deal with
a terrorist there. So Nigeria, they double wala. If I have to speak broken, we are in double. We are real serious double wala. That's just it. But the thing is, furthermore, what I believe is that I think they have fear in his heart. If you noticed the other day that he went for these fake consulate to greet the people that were bombed and all that. Did you notice his ABC was wearing a body armor? Do you notice? Go and watch that video again. Go and watch that video again. Right. And him himself, I'm sure he was wearing bulletproofs on that. Yeah, because he doesn't know where the bullet is going to come. He doesn't know. See, Bible, forget the people that come here and come to the comment section and say that they're soldiers that came to UK and all that. Forget all of these are fake people, fake ass people. They don't even know what is going on. This guy is trembling in his pants. He doesn't know what is going to happen. He's not sure what is going to happen.
With the way things are going, I will be worried.
Anyway, Nnamdi Kanu is a good thing. It was a good fight. I mean, it's interesting to see how Simon Ekpa is going to pan out. He's going to pan out with Simon Ekpa. I'm sure Simon Ekpa will not be a happy man anyway, but that's just Nigeria for you.
I think, see, Baba, I can tell how people feel from everywhere. You know why, personally, right? I have chosen to always encourage everybody to wait for Nnamdi Kanu to be out. Let that man be free and the rest. You know what I believe is that everything will still take care of itself. Everybody plays their roles according to how they felt. But you see the man they believe they are doing all this for, when he's finally out, right? That will be the moment a lot of you can possibly hold on to your belief. I just wish we can tone that down. Like we don't end up creating a possible division instead of the level of unification we expect under his control. You know what I mean? Like publicly.
The problem we have always had in Nigeria is that some people are very greedy. And that is what we see with some the so-called fashion of IPOB right now, because it's just so silly. Your leader has been kidnapped. He's in the why start acting out and giving yourself titles that you're the prime minister? Listen, you shouldn't be it's so fixated with a title, with position and all that. All we're talking about is a freedom. That's what you should be fighting for. Nnamdi Kanu had never come out and say, listen, I'm going to be the president of Biafra. He has never said that.
He's not even interested. He said, he's not interested. That when the day comes, the job is done and the Biafrans can choose their leaders.
Yeah, he just wants freedom for the Igbos first and for the rest of Nigeria. But this other guy it's just fixated. He wants to carry on. He's giving himself some titles and all that kind of thing. I'm not just impressed by him.
I know you probably I'm just not comfortable with that, but at the same time, Baba, I want us to keep that energy of seeing the man free first. You get what I mean? Like a lot of people feel differently in a way, but the energy I want to keep is the energy that okay, whatever everybody is done or doing, the man they are doing it for when he's out, right? It's like what we say in Yoruba, the akere. We show where to put the rope, the gun, right? We show where to put. So I will appreciate if all of us can actually maintain that. I've done that for years now. Remember, I've never come up here to start because you know why I didn't. Let me tell you that now that you're on the phone, right? Not because I didn't see everything going on, like where everybody just wants to be right. Okay, the situation where a lot of people just want to be right or wrong. Okay, not what is right and then what is wrong. So what I discovered is that if we use our energy with all our platforms that we have to go after one another like that, thinking we are trying to sort of fix any lapses or whatever in the whole struggle, what we are actually doing is that we are doing the job of our oppressors for them. You know what I mean? Like You know, they don't have to fight us. They don't have to say anything about us. They don't even have to, like, you know what I mean? We can do that for ourselves. So when we now destroy ourselves and then some are out of the way and all that, then our number shrinks. So which means we never have a chance of facing them. So
Michael, let me just correct something. I am not attacking anybody.
I'm talking about me. Why I choose to wait till the man is out himself.
Yeah, this is my own thing. I'm not a member of the IPOB. I'm not against the IPOB. All I am against is that you cannot go and kidnap a man. He hasn't done anything. The court has released him and all that. You still kept him. And look at all the utterances of Buhari. That is just so wrong. Tinubu is doing this. He wants to do this to get some political accolades from the East. He's not getting any jack. Rather, he's going to get more while at himself.
Don't tell them. Please don't tell them. Let them release him first. You get what I mean, right? You know, they'll say, who go tell her now? I say, no, not you. Please don't. Okay. But thank you very much for your perspective, okay, and your very much honesty as well. All right. Sometimes we need those bluntness as well. And you should expect other people to pick it up from where you said. I mean, what you have said so far, right? You know, this is Maya Gun's diary where all of them are here too. Well, thank you for that perspective.
Thank you, brother.
You have a good one. Okay. So that's a caller there. Now, if you are still here, you too can be a caller. You can call in. All right. You can do all this respectfully. If you disagree with people, tell them I disagree with what you said. Don't go vulgar. That is what we don't allow. Here. Hello there.
Michael, this is your guy, Adiola.
Hey, Baba. How are you?
I'm very well.
This conversation tonight pulled you out again. It must be very important to you too. So, Baba.
No, it pulled me. I think the caption that actually pulled me out today is Tinubu begs Nigerian doctors abroad to return.
He's begging all of you, including you, the accountant too. Go back home.
I think I was having a conversation with one rich white guy. I think that was late last year. He is into medical equipment, and he supplies Nigerian market, especially West Africa region, but its base is in Abuja. So we're just having a conversation, and he was just talking about stuff. I said to him, "Do you know what? I'll be fair and honest with you. The country is going to take a different turn." That was last year. I told him, "Come, you better look for you to exit it." Then I broke down the history of Nigeria to him. He was shocked. But the main thing here is that, the leadership there do not understand the concept of mobility of labor. Labor is mobile. If you believe you're not getting paid the right wages in the area you are free to move. So what am I saying? I'm saying that Nigerian government is in direct competition with their own doctors on a global stage. Can you hear me? So it's because you don't have that knowledge or that wisdom to know that you're actually competing with someone. You are competing with America for a talent that can move the next day. So you don't understand that basic concept of mobility of labor. So it's not just doctors that are leaving. If you look at all the top 4 accounting firms in the world, and you look at the ones in Nigeria, the top 4 in Nigeria, the PwC and the Ernst and the rest of them, you have a mass exodus of chartered accountants in Nigeria. They are now in Canada. A lot of them are in the UK. A lot of them are in the UK. And Ireland, they've moved. Every day there's depletion.
Adiola, that move you are talking about actually affects so many banks in Nigeria, where some of these tech boys who design some of their apps left.
Even the investment bankers are already crying.
They just left for all the better
jobs. The investment bank is already crying.
They have enough people to handle them for some time. That the gap was
Who's going to handle anything? Investment bankers are moving. Even one guy that has a local investment bank in Nigeria is complaining of talent. That talents are fleeing. Maigun, let us not deceive ourselves. The outcomes are predictable. So, there's no need to be arguing. When people start arguing and start talking rubbish, I can't understand that there's a veil in your eyes, that's covering you. If you keep on going a horrible direction, the end is predictable. The end of it is destruction. So let us not, if you're going to be arguing with someone, just leave them to, when you argue with a fool, the correction for a fool is the rod that they will flog him. So there's no point in arguing with a fool. If it was a student of the scriptures, especially the Proverbs, it discourages you from arguing with people that are void of understanding. So if you don't have that clear direction, Nigeria, the way it is, when people start fleeing, there's a reason why people are fleeing. Michael, when birds are running away, sometimes when birds start flying away from a particular direction, and you're wondering why they're flying, it's because they can see impending doom already. So when you see people leaving Nigeria, a mass exodus, it tells you something. You have to ask, why are people leaving in
you have
droves?
No idea. People have no money to buy all these things anymore. They can't even
People are
afford
leaving
them.
every single day. And when people are living that way, it's telling you something. There's something, sometimes, like, I'm answering Yoruba. What's that saying again? You don't have to say too much. You know what I
told them, Adeola? You know what I told them, right? People like Mayegun, people like yourself, and every one of us who are seeing all these dangers and will never stop talking, right? Right where we are seated, right? If we see genuine moves, for example, they fix the electricity, fix and punish all these criminals who are looters and the rest of them. You see physical things that you can tell that if they continue this way, the trajectory of doom that they were taking the country to may actually be halted or redirected.
Yes.
Or you cannot be doing the same thing again and again that brought this so much ruins. And we can still see you doing them, plotting and planning for them next year. And you are telling people that they will recover. How is that possible? You're an accountant.
If you do something wrong and you leave Nigeria, anywhere you go, the consequences of your actions will follow you, irrespective of your location, irrespective of the space you are in. So if these people are in this particular trajectory whereby they are continuously looting the economy and there's not any visible impact that you are making, the end is predictable. There's no need to say, there's no point, because they don't understand mobility of labor. And you are now begging doctors. More people are leaving and more people will still leave. And the brain drain will still continue because the people in leadership are just complete thieves and there's no redemption for them until that thing breaks. See, I tell people, do you know what? A Tinubu's presidency is a necessary thing. Because when you say, Tinubu, that's not issue, you keep on saying that rubbish. You need to know that on Kolo Mache, then your eye will now clear. It's painful, it's very painful because we've been preaching this message many years.
Like a missed opportunity, isn't it?
We've been preaching this message for years. We've been preaching this message for years. But now that presidency has to happen for the end to come. That's what I believe, because Toba Sofi on Bagbo, Wadake, Toba taste, Toba Towu. No, we made a mistake. We should never have gone through this route. That's how it is. Baba, may I leave am there. God bless you, sir.
You've done well.
Evening.
Thanks so much as well yourself for this. So let's go to the next caller. Now, listen, if you're still watching me and you haven't really paid your own offering, please do. Just like the podcast, that's all you have to do. Subscribe if you haven't already. Here is another caller. Hello there.
Good evening, MOG.
Yes, sir. How are you,
brother? Yes, my name is O Squared from Abuja.
Hey, O Square, I have you back again. The last time we spoke, I believe, a lot has happened after then, and every time it comes to you, like say, "Oh my God, oh no." How are you, sir?
I'm doing very well. My Overseer General, MOG.
The MOG. God bless you, sir. It's good to have you again.
Yes, yes. Thank you for your efforts as always. Like one of the lady callers mentioned, you have been bringing to fore something different from the traditional journalism, and I think it's commendable because it makes us reason logically and rationally. Because a lot of us Nigerians don't reason rationally and locally and logically. We always put our trust in the gods, so to speak. Nigeria was created on a faulty foundation. There's something I need to correct, and I think to those viewers who really need to. If you want to understand Nigeria, you have to go to the historical pre-colonial roots of this establishment or contraption, right? There are other ethnic nationalities in Nigeria.
That's right.
Most times people think, oh, it's Hausa, Yoruba, and Igbo.
No.
But no. And also the kind of system that the British left for Nigerians and other African countries, the colonial masters, they kind of glorified some ethnic groups over others. And then what happened is that some of the smaller ethnic groups will now have to go under the cover of the bigger ethnic groups, or and then what I'm pointing is that pre-colonial Africans lived in communal systems. This command and control system where everything goes to a capital and you share from the capital, it doesn't work for Africa. It will not work. Yeah, so what we've lost, we've thrown the baby and the bathwater away, because when the British came, they centralized by first of all defeating our monarchical systems and saying, come and sign treaty. That treaty now makes you under the whole Royal Niger Company, Wahala, and all that. And that is what has been perpetuated to date.
That's right.
So the military regimes came, so Nigerians have never really defined, and I'm talking of not outside Yoruba, I'm talking about ethnic nationalities. The only ethnic group that ever had a referendum, not a collection of ethnic nationalities, was the Midwest. They had a referendum.
They did.
And it's on record. So if today the Midwest says, look,
they have to do that to have their own Midwest region to
have the region out of the Western region, right? So correct. Correct. Remember that these things were created by the colonialists.
That's right.
They were not created by Nigerians for Nigerians, which is supposed to be what democracy is supposed to be about.
God bless you.
We've never, I think what came close to something that Nigerians wanted to create for Nigerians was in '63, the Republic or something they tried. Yes, but you see, it was truncated because that command and control system where you centralize everything, it defeats two things. The way, you see, when you want to steal from somebody, you tell them, Paul, and put all your resources in one pot. It's difficult to steal when the resources are scattered. They are scattered in communities, and the communities in those days, there was no, in pre-colonial times, before we became educated and westernized, there was no unemployment in the villages. It was a taboo for a young man to wake up and not have a job. Let's go and research into our culture. Now, what we've done is, because we want to wear a shirt and a tie and work in an office, we left the community where, like in UK where you are, councils embark on strategic infrastructure projects.
Right.
Local government in Nigeria cannot embark on any strategic project. Why? They are designed to fail. Because the center must continue to control the resources of 774 local governments, which actually are your cell in your body is the strongest. If your cells are attacked, your body immune system is gone.
It's gone.
The cells in the body are like the communities. They're like the local governments are the cells of the body. So right now, we don't have local government autonomy. Local government does not control its resources. Everything you must come to, that makes you bow to the center. That system of command and control, centralized, is what is still being practiced. That is why somebody can sit up and do nothing. I must commend you again, MOG, because a lot of people were depressed through the election period. I personally, I had expected all this 2-3 years ago.
I feel sorry
Yeah,
for a lot of you in Abuja because you made a statement that they never let count, unfortunately.
Yes, exactly. So the truth about it is that, you know, a lot of people keep having hope. Now, my question is this.
Sir.
When you want to have hope, you have to go first to the foundation of what created your problem. That foundation is deep. It is when the colonial came, the strategy of the colonial masters, the Portuguese came and traded with kingdoms. They did not colonize.
No.
They traded. They were trading partners. With the Benin, with the Shekiri, going to history, the Portuguese played a very key role in trade. They even sent mercenaries to fight along the Benin kingdom. Expand it. They were business partners. The British came, were abolishing slave trade. But you know what? As we're abolishing slave trade, you need to sign treaty. We need to put your Yes.
Colonialism
so that system,
slave trade.
Thank you.
Oh dear.
Now,
go on.
Yes, they've granted independence, but the same method by which was used to colonize us are used by the military and the political class
to run the country that was supposed to be
free. Yeah, the same strategy. So once they know, once you give the power to the communities, and I mean communities, I mean the local government. Now it's difficult to classify people into, when you classify into tribes, you have a problem of people, and there's no inclusion. Because you see, when you say, if you go to a state like Adamawa State, there are over 50 different ethnic nationalities in that Adamawa Taraba axis.
Adamawa space alone.
Yes, if you go to Delta, you know, sometimes people look and when they, I'm not trying to cause confusion here, but sometimes when people say, oh, there's Igbo in Delta, it's confusing because you see a lot of those people who are speaking something similar to Igbo today, we are actually of Benin origin, and actually you have a tribe in the Delta called Olukumi. Olukumi are Yorubas, but they now speak Igbo and speak the Yoruba dialect on the side. So it's very complex when you want to now say, how do we carve out certain, you know, but like I said before, the Midwest region, with foresight, have done a referendum in the past.
But do you know they cheated? They have managed to kind of try to abolish that by calling them North Central today, by forcing them to be North and North today.
So what you see now, right, is that it's still part of this experiment of whatever everybody is doing. They're trying to put the resources. Let's say you have yam growing in different parts. You have yam growing in Ibadan. You have yam growing in Borno. Let's put everything in one pot.
In the same pot. So yeah, we'll start sharing.
Yes, that is the problem. You know, when you do that, when you now want to share from that pot, a lot of people will not get as much as the others.
As well, and there's
so allow people to control. Yes. So allow people to control their yam where their yam is growing, and they can contribute a little to the center for the sake of let us see a little.
I know. Yeah. Thank you. I could spend the whole evening with you, as usual.
Emoji. Well done.
Brethren, sir, that is the old square.
Yes.
You could go all
square.
You know when I'm going to enjoy myself more? When like people are saying that we should get my Gunsdari political more wider and all that. I pray that once I get what I want to get, a place I want to get for next year, right? And then I begin to set that up. People like yourself are going to be guest, speakers and all that on my Gunsdari on different topics. Because I mean, I am so blessed with so much resources here that I have to put all of this together for the use of our people.
I've been learning from you for a very long time, quietly.
I appreciate this.
All right, take care. Emoji. All right, bye-bye.
So that is, we need to manage that time, and a lot of you will love to speak tonight, okay? But one thing about my Gunsdari political, like I've told a lot of us many times, is that I will speak my mind. A lot of you will now begin to bring your own perspective from there. And these perspectives are coming from brilliant minds all over the world. Do you know how blessed I am to have you here with me? I have the Prince, by the way. Prince Jejeman. You there? Oh, bless Prince. So I think I didn't pick the call. And I actually thought I did. Good enough that I looked again. Prince Jejeman. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Baba.
Good evening, sir.
Mike.
Yes, sir.
Baba, nothing do you too much. You too much, Baba.
Thank you, the Prince.
Yeah, please, I call my people. They hear my people. I bet, man, I share, make na share.
Thank you.
We need to share this message. It's our message. If you believe in truth, you must share Mayegu program. You must share it. That should be the first thing we do in every program. Baba, respect, oh.
Prince.
We always feel you. God will continue to bless you.
Amen.
You are consistent, and consistent is the key.
Thank you.
The key to freedom is consistency. Yeah. Yeah, tonight, Baba, I saw the headline and I saw our great leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu.
I had to do a recap that way so that a lot of people can get up and can be up to date of what really happened or what is going on before they wake up tomorrow morning with their different propaganda and all of that stuff just to cover up another lie. But here you are, Prince. Back me up.
Baba, God bless you.
Amen.
You see, with tonight, I want them to know that, one devilish thing that Nigeria did to the Biafrans and in extension to all Nigerians, because the thing that Nigeria is doing, all their aim to put the Biafrans down, is they also is affecting every Nigerian. The day they will liberate Biafrans, the whole Nigeria will have their freedom. You understand? Because there's one thing that that Nigeria don't know. The Biafrans, the Igbos, their tentacles have spread all over Nigeria. They are the people that can go anywhere, live anywhere, build house, develop, and stay there. You understand? Even in the deepest part of
and they build schools, they build hospitals. Some of them even build, they kind of electrify their communities simply because their business, their homes are also in those communities. But unfortunately, it's not widely sort of respected. I'll do that. I'll say that respected. Go on, the Prince.
You see, my ego, somebody that hold somebody on the ground is holding himself. If you leave the person, you will have your freedom. After the Civil War, to make the Biafrans not to be relevant in life, they gave them 20 pounds. The same people today, you have seen them spread everywhere. And these are the people that if they build house, you will destroy. If they build market, you go there and set it ablaze. You understand? Still, you are not satisfied with the Civil War. The Civil War continues. My good general, one thing I want them to know is this. You see the Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Yeah? He has brought every history that Nigeria is hiding from us. It's like a word. His word are like a word written on marble today. Every Biafrans have now been emancipated from the mental slavery of Nigeria. Nigeria, they want us to remain in the mental slavery. That we will not know anything about
fear.
About our
you
culture.
Know what they will do to you. You better be careful. Keep your mouth shut. Keep your head down. Oh yeah, begin to pick the curtains. Now the only thing they haven't to ask us to do now is to pick curtains like slaves. But they want us to do like this.
I'm telling you, my ego. Do you know that I lived in Lagos 30 years? I told you before. Yes. My good general, I'm telling you the truth, the honest truth. There was a time, if you go to a place, you will be hiding you won't want to be identified as Igbo. You understand? But now they cannot have removed all this mental slavery from us today. I'm very proud as a Biafra anywhere I go, anywhere in the world. Do you understand?
Yes.
They can no longer hide. You see, this thing now, as it is stand today, even if we die today, our children will come, and everything that Nnamdi Kanu have said is like a gospel about Nigeria, our history, our tradition. He have brought them back. We are no longer in the dark. That's one thing Nigeria
and I think that is the threat. That is scary for those elites there. How could they let these people see the light?
Exactly. They don't want anybody to be visionary about their secrecy about Nigeria. You understand? That's the reason
they say
why
you overrate yourselves, you overvalue yourself. That means those who sees Igbos as people who are too proud, arrogant, and all of that, they might actually be people who secretly, right? Who secretly feels like they are bigger than every Igbo they see. You know, there are people who have the mentality of when you see that person, they say, where are you from? Oh, I'm from so your people. Oh, that your people. So maybe those who complain that Igbos are arrogant are those who expected the Igbos to keep their heads down. But seeing you not keeping your heads down makes them feel uncomfortable. Do you never think of that? I'm not Igbo.
My
So
Igbo, do you know why they behave like that? They are behaving like that because they see you as somebody they give 20 pounds. Even if you're a billionaire. You understand? They want you to remain poor. They want you to remain in a slavery condition.
So they can say the reason why you are poor is because you challenge them.
Exactly. So they want you always to remain, your head to always remain bow to them. So when they see you now dancing as a human being, you know, how did you do that? Who is this? Who is this? You know, the person that will be relegated with 20 pounds. You understand?
That makes sense.
That is the reason. So that is just the reason. That is the jealousy. So today, if they see Igbo man rising, they will say, they are arrogant. Because how can you give somebody?
How can you give somebody? They say Igbos are so loud. Even Igbos themselves will say, our brothers are so loud. I said, what is wrong in being loud? Is that criminal?
The people that they have conquered mentally. You understand?
You know what I mean? Like, what is wrong if I want to be loud with my money or with my achievement or what have you? That's my business. Should you want me dead for that?
Exactly. It has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with you. If you want to be loud on your own, you will be loud. You want to be silent, you'll be silent. It's your life. Abroad, everybody lives their life the way they want to live. Nobody looks into another one issue.
So is that a crime to be loud or something?
It's not a crime. They just know that Igbo, you know, that stigma of somebody conquered somebody.
Look at them. I mean, even if you have made it, you shouldn't be announcing it, you know, like you are supposed to remain humble. You are supposed to remain down. You are supposed to appear like you are poor. Now I get it.
Exactly, you know, that is it. So my ego, I wanted to know that with us and then Nnamdi Kanu today. They cannot jail the truth. Nnamdi Kanu word is a word written on marble. Throughout the whole, do you know that countries comes to get the message of Nnamdi Kanu and use it, you know, to develop their places? But Nigeria don't value anything important. Are you getting me?
I'm with you.
Secondly, my ego, you see the main problem that Nigeria have, is Nigerian military. You know that Nigerian military, yes, the Nigerian military, Boko Haram have infiltrated it for long. It's just of recent that we are seeing they started doing when Buhari came in. Buhari just overlooked anything called federal character. You know, he was doing it. He brought everything to light. They were doing everything secretly. I getting me before
senior military officials.
Do you know that? Do you know that?
I'm gonna this one. I want to say this one so that you can help me add that too. Okay, senior military officers, right? Because they are Igbos, and they are supposed to become the chief of staff. You remember this now? Buhari had to retire about 14 people just to make Buratai the butcher. I mean, sorry, not Buratai. That guy who came after Buratai just to make him the chief of army staff. You remember that time? Retired all of them, all the Igbos, all the retired everybody. Come push that guy.
Yeah.
The guy ended up they ended up killing the guy in a helicopter crash. Remember?
Exactly. Yeah.
Talking about the Igbos being pushed out of it. Go on, Prince. You have about 2 minutes more.
Yeah, thank you. So that is part of the terrorism I'm talking about. You see, do you know that 1999 Constitution is a terrorism against the Nigerian state?
100%.
Are you getting me? These are the terrorists in the army that sat down Abu Salam, who now, even during the election, they will call him to come and be a peacemaker, a terrorist. that wrote 1999 constitution that put everybody in this state that going back you are not going, coming front you are not coming. And now when these politicians came in, they saw that the constitution that he gives them
they took advantage of it. If now you call, they go say
I have telling you, my ego. I used to tell somebody asked me, my Prince man, how these people they do the school abroad? Why are they behaving like don't they see train walking everything, network of trains to every cities? And why are they behaving? I told them, look, a criminal is a criminal, no matter how educated he is. High sense is not. High education can never be high sense.
High sense, so. Especially when you have greed and selfishness, no education can defeat that. Can't be a bigot plus that one. You are finished. And only Nigeria. It's only in Nigeria you can exist and function and get rewarded.
So my ego is here, the military. Why Nigeria can never function or work as in the progressive nation is because the military that is in charge of the territorial integrity are terrorists by themselves. You understand? So how can the country move forward? Because they are the one that is backing up all these
of course,
terrorist politicians to put the people down. They came to Lekki Toll Gate openly. They killed people. They killed. There's more than 1,000. They carried them away. You understand? And they denied it today.
They denied though. Took their bodies though.
That answers. And that after that, people spirit were down. Is it not what Tinubu is the one that sanctioned it because he wants the presidency at all costs? He said by his own mouth, Aloro Wansimbe, who sent them to go to that location.
They also have a case to answer.
Getting me?
See, Prince Jejeman, I am kind of going to bed tonight, hoping that my day and our days will be brightened up tomorrow. Maybe for the first time in a long time, somebody can say, well, their justice, the judiciary, maybe, well, I think they kind of got one right. I'm looking forward to that tomorrow, okay? And I'm not looking forward to their stories or excuses, even though we know they never run out of them. But Prince Jejeman,
if they don't free Nnamdi Kanu, they are the one, the whole world we know they are creating insecurity for themselves and for Nigerians.
Okay.
You understand?
Thank you.
So, thank you so much, my good general. God bless you.
Here. Okay, thank you so much for all you do, and I hope everything, as we are all hoping, comes back in praise tomorrow. Okay.
Yes, and we are protesting tomorrow in central London. We're gonna be there.
Okay. Send them to me before.
Live
I hope you are done by then, before 6 p.m. If I have them before 6, I could use them tomorrow. Just to share and appreciate everyone that's coming out tomorrow. Do you want to tell everyone about it, by the way? Like, maybe use this medium. Quickly.
Yeah, we are coming out, all IPOB member and all lovers of freedom. Everyone is coming out tomorrow at Central London, Downing Street. And we are marching also to Nigerian House.
Okay.
In solidarity with our great leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. They have no other option than to free him. Without that, they are creating insecurity for Nigeria. And that is where we stand.
That be?
From 10 a.m. in the morning, tomorrow, 15th of December, 2023.
10 a.m. in
Thank
the morning.
You so much. 10 a.m.
Are you comfortable sharing a contact? Like, who should they call? Who should they talk to for those who are interested and all that? There's a platform for that.
No. Once they come to Downing Street in the morning, we are gathering there by 10 a.m. Yeah, 10 a.m.
The earlier the better as well. Thank you, Prince. Okay,
yeah.
All the best.
You're welcome, sir. Thank you so much. Good night, sir.
So that's Prince Jejeman wrapping it up for us tonight. Okay, I want to say thank you to every one of us as usual. Tomorrow is another day, and I really, 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 really want it to be a great day. And part of what will make it a great day is to see an innocent man freed as he should be. Okay? That will make it a great day. My 40th birthday is next month. 30th of January it is. Now I'm stuck between doing my birthday, because I actually want to have a party. I really want to. But I've not made up my mind, by the way, okay? I want to have a party. And just this morning, right? Somehow, after speaking about it with Agbeke last night, right? I just felt like, what's it going to be like if one of the news I'm going to take into 2024 is the freedom of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? And I mean this. I do mean this. And one of the things I also wishes for is that when he's freed and released, from the bottom of my own heart and in there, right there, go, right? That could be my best birthday gift. And I'm not asking for it from Nigeria or Tinubu or anybody. I'm just asking justice to prevail. Then maybe I can begin to plan for my birthday, for real. And all the arts that have been aching and praying that an innocent man shouldn't die in the custody of the wicked criminals, because they have the power to. I also hope tomorrow will be the healing time, or the start of the healing for those who have been subjected to that, the trauma. Even thinking about it alone, it may not mean much to you. I can tell you, the illegal abduction and the incarceration of Nnamdi Kanu means more to so many people, including myself. So we're all looking forward to tomorrow. Okay? And they should. If that's going to be the first thing and the only thing they will do right in their lives. Let an innocent man go. Unconditionally. I'll see you tomorrow. Until then, stay safe and take it easy. Good night.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara yìí. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Mayegun Diary politico. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Ijó ìgbádìyẹ. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Bí gómìnà kówó jẹ. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Ọlọ́pàá ti ń darí bá. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Máyégún mami.
Ayé ẹ̀sùn ràjò.
Máyégún ti dé.
Òkúra olóṣèlú.
Máyégún mami.
Ayé ẹ̀sùn ràjò.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ayé ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o, Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀, Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Oníkanṣá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o, ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. Lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. Bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́, ó ti dọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà. Àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o, ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì o. Ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.